Coming up on OU Nightly, Day 2 of early voting in Oklahoma. Find out which county has cast the most ballots so far. And you've seen the posters around campus. What one organization is doing to keep you safe this Halloween weekend. Plus, we're well into fall here in Oklahoma. So where are the fall colors? Find out why the leaves aren't turning yet. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abigail Franklin.
And I'm Brooke Griggs. We begin tonight with a forecast that feels like Halloween.
Hey, and after that warm weather all week, it's a relief, and we could see some more rain too. So let's go ahead and get a first look at the forecast from OU Nightly's meteorologist, Rachel Mosshammer.
Yeah, Abigail, Brooke, look at this temperature change map right now. We have 18 degrees cooler in Norman, 19 degrees cooler in Oklahoma City, and 20 degrees cooler in Lawton than what we saw 24 hours ago. So that cold front came through, brought us these cooler temperatures, and of course some nice rain that put a little bit of a dent in the drought. Now, the good news is we're going to have a lot more rain to come the next few days, which is great. It's definitely what we need here in the state, especially that southwestern parts of the state that have seen those fires and those drier conditions. Now, coming up here in headlines, we'll see finally fall temperatures, those weekend rain chances, and what it's going to look like for your trick-or-treating.
Right, thanks, Rachel. On this Halloween, Oklahomans are braving long lines to make sure they can vote early. OU Nightly's Oliver Schaefer is following the story from the newsroom. Oliver, this is the second day of long lines.
Brooke, this is day 2 out of 4 days of early voting in the state. And already we know that the state election board says the county that's home to Norman, Cleveland County, has had more voters than any other county in the state. Here's a look at the long lines outside Sooner Mall in Norman. As of Wednesday afternoon, the Oklahoma State Election Board says just over 6,500 people had voted at this site and 3 others in Cleveland County. In Oklahoma County, this scene shows lines of cars backed up just to get into the early voting location. We know about 5,900 ballots were cast here on Wednesday. Tulsa County saw just over 5,000 votes cast Wednesday. We'll have totals for today's early voting late tonight. To vote early, you must go to a location in the county where you are registered. Friday early voting hours are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturday, it's 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And of course, you can vote at your precinct on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
All right, thanks, Oliver. And as we get closer to Election Day, candidates are pulling out all the stops, some of them a little strange, too. Elle Gedman has a roundup of today's events from the OU Nightly Election Center.
Former President Donald Trump has arrived to a Wisconsin rally in a garbage truck. The stunt seems to be aimed towards comments made by President Joe Biden at a Trump rally. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe called Puerto Rico a, quote, floating island of garbage. During a video conference, President Biden said the only garbage he sees are Trump supporters. At one of her campaign rallies today, at around the same, Vice President Harris called Trump's comments last night that he would be a protector of women offensive. In Pennsylvania, the Republican National Committee is asking the state Supreme Court to order counties to throw out ballots that have missing or incorrect dates. It comes after a lower court ruled it was a violation of the state constitution. It is not yet clear how many ballots would be impacted. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is asking a federal court to step in over the case involving his $1 million giveaway to voters. Musk was offering a chance to win a cash prize to register voters in swing states who signed a petition that pledged support for the First and Second Amendments. He is now being sued by a Philadelphia DA who calls it an illegal lottery scheme. Americans are getting out to the polls early, too. National statistics show already 60 million voters have been cast for president either by absentee ballot or early voting. Abigail, Brooke, back to you.
Thanks, Elle. This morning, the entire Geary police force resigned. The department's former chief released a statement on Facebook saying the decision was a very difficult one to make. The Post also encourages community members to be aware of their city council members and to get involved in council meetings. Hours later, the Geary Public Information Officer announced the department has secured an interim chief and 911 will work as usual with assistance from surrounding sheriff's offices. Officials have yet to say why the force resigned.
And as Halloween festivities begin, one OU office is creating awareness to ensure the importance of consent. OU Nightly's Sophia Cabrera has the story.
One of the biggest weekends of the year is here, Halloween weekend. The weekend is packed with parties, costumes, and spooky good fun. However, the eventful weekend can also bring real-life threats like increased chances of assault. Halloween occurs during what is called the red zone, a term used to describe a period between the start of school through Thanksgiving break where sexual assault risks rise by 50%. But at OU, the Office of Advocacy and Education have put out eye-catching posters, serving as reminders of the importance of consent during Halloween weekend.
We are running a My Costume Is Not My Consent program, essentially promoting the idea that it doesn't matter what you're wearing, it doesn't matter what sort of the situation is. If you do not consent, you're not asking for it, and no means no.
Dr. Tyler Tennant, an education coordinator at the office, says the signs are designed with pop culture references on purpose.
I think that cultural references are obviously important. Helps spread the message to everyone.
But the message is more than just the designs.
No is a full sentence, and that consent needs to be active and needs to be enthusiastic, that it is reversible.
Placed around campus and in freshman housing, these posters deliver an important message that a costume is never an invitation nor a form of consent. Reporting in Norman for OU Nightly, I'm Sophia Cabrera.
Students are encouraged to utilize Safe Walk or Safe Ride if necessary this weekend to celebrate safely. More information can be found on the OU Office of Advocacy and Education's Instagram. All right, well, still ahead, a number of food recalls in the U.S., one linked to an E. coli outbreak.
What you need to know about the food items that were linked to the outbreak at a major food chain.
Plus, check your medicine cabinet for those COVID tests.
Why the expiration date matters and is something you should be checking when we return. If you're a triplet in the U.S., you're more rare than you think. OU Nightly's Savannah Simmons has that and more in today's Health Beat.
Yeah, ladies, slivered onions served on McDonald's Quarter Pounders were the likely source of an E. coli outbreak in several states, and that's according to the CDC. One person died and dozens of others were hospitalized across 13 states. The restaurant has since stopped using the onions from its supplier, the Colorado-based company Taylor Farms. McDonald's says it's putting the Quarter Pounder back on the menu, but without the onions. You may not need to toss out your expired at-home COVID test. The FDA encourages people to check its website to see if your test has an extended expiration date. The agency says the expiration date is how long the test is expected to be accurate. Giving birth to triplets or even more has become increasingly less common in the U.S. According to the report from the CDC, the rate of triplet and higher order births has declined 62% between 1998 and 2023. Research shows this decline is likely tied to the use of assisted reproductive technologies like in vitro fertilization. And parents, health officials are encouraging you to be extra careful trick-or-treating tonight if your child has allergies. Bringing an allergy-friendly treat and reading candy labels can help keep your children safe. Abigail, Brooke.
All right, well, thanks, Savannah. Well, coming up, we're still waiting for the trees in Norman to change colors and shed their leaves.
But it might be some time till you see that. What you need to know about the timing for fall colors when we return.
And it is October in Oklahoma, which means those temperatures are cooling down, and we're in our second storm season of the year. More on that when we come back. Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. We're so glad to have you here on this cool Halloween afternoon. We're looking at our weather center cam right now. Now, you can see a couple trees out there that are slowly starting to change color, and that's not enough to prompt us to change some colors on our fall foliage map, but it's definitely an indication that fall is finally here. Looking at our temperatures right now in Norman, 64 degrees. And then it's going to continue into tonight. Current temperatures 64 in Norman, 63 in Oklahoma City, 60 degrees out in Guymon, so they're nearing the 50s out in the Panhandle. Now tonight, it's going to cool down a lot. We had that cold front move in last night. It brought us some rain, and it'll bring us some even more rain chances over the weekend. But your lows for tonight when you're trick-or-treating, 47 degrees in Norman, 46 degrees in Oklahoma City, and nearing freezing temps out in the Panhandle. Now, like I said, we did have that rain come through, but tomorrow we'll have highs in the 70s, so 72 in Norman, 73 in Oklahoma City, and 74 out in Guymon. So that cold front is, of course, making a dent in our temperatures, and it brought us that rain. Look at these precip totals from last night, nearing half an inch in Norman, half an inch in Oklahoma City. Now, the least amount of rain was out in the southwestern parts of the state, and those are the parts of the state that really need it. They had wildfires out there that were burning for well over a week. So, unfortunately, that precip didn't bring us a lot of relief from the drought, but this next round will definitely do the trick. Look at this future precip map for the next few days up into Tuesday morning. We'll have 3 inches here in Norman, almost 4 inches in Oklahoma City, and almost 6 inches out in Miami of rain. So definitely well-needed rain, what we need to kick off this fall weather. Let's time it out for you. Looking at Friday into Saturday morning, we'll have those storms start out in the west. They'll make their way through Oklahoma, which of course the southwestern parts of the state that really need that rain the most, they're going to get the rain that they need. Looking at Saturday afternoon during your game, we'll see a lot of rain here in Norman, so make sure you keep that in mind whenever you're going out to the game. You're bringing a poncho because umbrellas aren't allowed in the stadium, so again, something to keep in mind when you're out this weekend. Again, that rain's going to continue out through the weekend. Now, for Saturday, we do have a flash flooding risk, so something to keep in mind whenever you're going out. It is a slight risk, so make sure you're watching for the ponding on the roads and all of that flooding we get here in Norman. So for Sunday, we do have another severe weather risk. This is usually the time of the year that we have that second round of severe weather like we saw the other day, and then it's going to continue through Monday. It'll shift eastward, but again, Norman is going to be included in that risk. We'll have more details into what to expect the next couple of days and what those risks are going to be, but for right now, just keep in mind that we're going to have severe weather for the next weekend. Now, looking at our Halloween forecast, if you're planning to go out trick-or-treating, it's going to cool off into the lower 50s. And then again, that 7-day forecast, look at those rain chances this weekend. Something we are definitely ready to see with the fall. No tricks, all treats on this 7-day. So definitely something we are so ready to see. And I'm ready for the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a great forecast for our trick-or-treaters. A cold, wet pattern. You know, you and I have been talking all about sweater weather, and I think it's finally the time.
Yeah,
so.
Sweater weather and rain jacket weather.
Absolutely.
So make sure you're packing
Oklahoma weather for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thanks for the forecast, Rachel. We're actually going to keep you here for a second, though, because it's a big day for our weather meteorology students here at on campus. They're out at the National Weather Service.
Yeah, Rachel, we saw some of the costumes in the hallways here at Gaylord. What can you tell us?
Yeah, for sure. So the leaves may not be turning yellow just yet, but we got a yellow brick road over at the National Weather Center. Chloe Arroyo and some of the gang are out there in their Wizard of Oz outfits. Chloe, what's happening with the festivities over there?
Rachel, we are out here at the National Weather Service. We have been passing out candy. You can see behind me the building out here, people walking out, some in costumes, some are students walking out of class, a little bit of both right now, but we've been passing out candy. We've seen a lot of fun costumes. In fact, I have OU Nightly meteorologist Sam Patterson, as well as OU Nightly meteorologist Willie Gillespie. So I'm going to start with you, Sam. What has been your favorite costume that you've seen so far?
I saw somebody dressed up as a complete boat. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald. Complete boat. Greatest thing I've ever seen.
Awesome. So great. What about you, Willie?
How about this hot dog right here? Take a look at this hot dog.
Look at that.
Fantastic costume.
Great costume.
10 out of 10.
Love it.
That's phenomenal.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to be out here until 5 p.m. passing out candy, so not much longer. So come out and get your candy before official trick-or-treating starts this evening. Ladies, back to you.
All right, Chloe, looks like you guys are having a great time out there, but we're still talking about weather. We're well into the fall season here in Oklahoma, but the Leafs just aren't necessarily showing it yet.
Now, OU Nightly's meteorologist Carlin McCreary is live from the South Oval to tell us why we haven't seen those bright fall colors yet and when we can expect them. Carlin.
Yeah, ladies, it's been unseasonably dry and warm across Oklahoma this October, so it's taken the trees a little bit longer to show their vibrant fall colors. And with peak fall foliage time usually being in late October here in Norman, a lot of people are wondering when we're going to see those reds, yellows, and oranges show up across campus. So low temperatures being way higher than what we usually see this fall has played a huge role in leaf chlorophyll not breaking down. So what we usually see is the chlorophyll breaking down in October due to cooler nighttime temperatures, causing the green summer color in leaves to disappear and change. This is exactly why we see those fall leaves show their iconic colors as the temperatures become more fall-like. So
the trees need those colder nights where there's no sunlight and there's cool temperatures to really start those bright leaf color changing processes. And because that hasn't happened in October, the leaves have been dull and not as vibrant.
So the chance for Oklahoma to see those leaves get brighter over the coming weeks is on the lower end this season, but we could be in luck to see it for just a little bit as rain and cooler nights are on the way. From the South Oval, Carlin McCreary, OU Nightly.
All right, thanks, Carlin. We're going to be on the lookout for those leaves changing. Well, it's spooky season, and we can start to look forward to another upcoming season.
Darby will be breaking down the details for U.S. on women's gymnastics.
That's right. The Sooners have a chance to avenge themselves against the teams that took away their chances of a three-peat. And Brent Venables explains why making more changes to the offense may not be such a good thing. Hello, I'm Darby McCormick, and it's time for sports. Nothing has been spookier to the Oklahoma offense than the offensive line after giving up a school record 10 sacks in the Ole Miss game. While OU is wearing their Unity uniforms for Military Appreciation Day on Saturday, the O-line has been everything but unified. Sooner football head coach Brent Venables is blunt about the changing of personnel on the offensive line and how that affects the overall performance of the group.
Again, nobody wants to hear. I'm going to say it anyway because it's what the facts are. But when you're playing freshmen play like freshmen sometimes, and they don't have experience and wisdom they can lean on, and so that happened a few times. But at the end of the day, I really felt like, and this is whether it's while Jacob was still healthy and whatnot, through really three quarters, we gave ourselves a chance on the offensive line. We had winning performance.
Well, there's no tricks from OU women's gymnastics, but all treats for Sooner fans as they drop their 2025 schedule. A meet to circle your calendars for is the Intercollegiate Quad Meet, which will be held in the Paycom Center, where the Sooners will meet LSU, Utah, and California after being beat by them in the NCAA semifinals last season. And OU men's basketball played the Crimson and Cream scrimmage inside the Lloyd Noble Center. Jalen Moore led the scrimmage with 17 points, which is over 5 points from his average last season. High Point transfer and redshirt senior Duke Miles put up 16 points. The Sooners start their season Monday against Lindenwood. And what might have been a disappointing night for the Hawks was still a standout game for former Sooner Trey Young, making it his 30.10 assist game of the year. And Buddy Hield contributed to the 15-point Warrior win over the Pelicans with 21 points and 3 assists. And the OKC Thunder improved to 4-0 this season, the first time they've done that since 2016. With a 105-93 win, Chet Holmgren had a night with a 100% three-point percentage and the team keeping Victor Wembanyama to a career low in points. Abigail, Brooke.
Thanks, Darby. Well, we're looking at a lawyer in Massachusetts who decided to let trick-or-treaters be the judge of this Halloween.
And we don't mean in a courtroom. Stick around to see how this lawyer chose trick instead of treats, coming up next.
I'm Madison Daly with an update from the wildfire burning in the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge. Officials say right now over 60% of the brush fire is contained, and the wildfire is currently covering over 12,000 acres. Over 200 people are in the area actively fighting that fire. There are no evacuations in place, but residents in the area are encouraged to stay alert. Abigail, Brooke, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. We'll be watching that and keeping you guys updated. So a lawyer turned his backyard into his own scare grounds.
The lawyer used tarp, plastic, and rope to create a spooky experience for everyone. Plus, it's free.
It took him a month to finish the haunted house, and you can see why it truly looks like a haunted house.
What an experience, and at least at the end of the journey, trick-or-treaters can expect a bowl of candy for their bravery. Sounds like the perfect trip if I was still a kid looking to trick-or-treat.
So much fun.
Hey, but we're talking about Halloween. Got a forecast for us. What can you tell us? What can trick-or-treaters expect tonight?
Yeah, well, I think my computer got a little haunted there, so we didn't get to see the Halloween forecast, but looking at trick-or-treating forecast tonight, we'll see about 60s into the 50s going into later tonight. So trick-or-treating time about 61 degrees, a light breeze out of the south-southeast, so perfect fall conditions here for your Halloween evening.
All right. What a great Halloween forecast for these kids.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abigail Franklin.
And I'm Britt Griggs. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.